Beyond Potential podcast. So excited about the events we have in store for you. Good afternoon, coming to you from Beyond Potential podcast. So excited about the events we have in store for you. We're going to talk about so many things in the business sector. We're really going to highlight in working with you. We're going to make sure that your business concerns are answered through our guests. We're going to invite individuals that cover areas such as taxation. We'll have CPAs, we'll have business attorneys, we'll have asset protection, coaches, legal aids that can cover every topic. We'll also dive into what type of corporation that you'll be setting up. We're going to go extensive in those areas. We will also really highlight what role you play in structuring your company, how you'll be integrating AI technology into your back office. As you can tell, thousands of people are being laid off, and not because they're not needed. It's because of their lack of knowledge with utilizing AI into the business infrastructure. So we'll be covering those topics. We're excited about getting started. Our first episode will jump deep into business startups, what it takes. And then we'll continue to grow this podcast as we go. It's going to be very versatile in the business sector, from the real estate, commercial construction, residential construction. We'll cover insurance. We'll cover just really every facet of it. So we're excited to really join this podcast and to bring this podcast to you. So take advantage of it. And what we want you to do, we want you to interact with us as well. In the comments section, we would like for you to perhaps leave some comments on business topics you would like us to get guests on and cover in the course of our podcast. And so we'll make sure that we really interact with you personally. Unlike many other podcasts, they pick their own subjects, but we'll make sure that we integrate information that's important to you. And that's what our goal is. So in the course of our choosing our guests, we'll make priority to really be accommodating to answering all the necessary questions that you guys are looking to get answers to. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. First of all, let's talk about business startups. First of all, have you picked a business name? Most important to choose a business name. So many people want to choose corporation names that's provided for their niche. Unfortunately, that's not always a good idea. Let's say Sam's Trucking. He's excited about trucking, but when it comes to funding, is Sam's Trucking a very good idea? You perhaps can give it a much more generic name that's usable or financeable. That's one of the first things you want to keep in mind as you create your business entity. You may look at Hunt Trucking, for example. Now, the difference in you and Hunt Trucking is apparently Hunt Trucking got into the business and had some financial backing. And that makes it a little bit different when you're getting into an industry and you already have financial backing. Then yes, your choices of business names can really vary or can be in a niche, so to speak. But starting that business, the most important thing is we want to make sure that we get a name that is very lender friendly. You have to remember that. And then you want to pick your category as it relates to your NICS code. That code is what tells the banks and the lenders what sector, what industry you're in. And that's important. Let's say right now in the construction industry, if a construction company went to the bank, they'll get zero money. What's going on in the industry right now with interest rates being high, inventory sitting, banks are not taking a risk right now. So if a person came in with B&B construction, there's no funding. But now if he came in with B&B consulting or B&B technology, now that banker's eyes, it perks up. So it doesn't mean that you have to do consulting work or technology with that company. The company's allowed to do anything. But again, when you start that name, you want to keep that in mind, how your lending is going to take place. Also, when it comes to startup businesses, we really need to consider how you're going to start structuring business credit. Business credit is so vital as you go into the banks. They want to get an idea of how you do business. How do you do business with your trade partners? Are you going to be a good trade partner to the bank? The bank wants to know clearly if they can trust you, if they can lend you money, and will you pay them back? And so when they see your business credit report, and of course, the entities that report that are Experian, Equifax, and a few other credit reporting agencies on business, the banks pull those. And they're going to determine how you do business. And that's the difference between getting a $5,000 credit card to a $50,000 or $25,000 credit card. So keep that in mind. And starting that business credit. Well, how do you do that? Well, there's several consulting companies out there, or of course you can go right to AI, ChatGPT, just put in the prompts. Give me a detailed list of net 30 companies that I can use to build my business credit. You start those business trade lines, pay them perhaps 60, 90, 120 days, and allow them to start reporting to your credit, a business credit. And then you start preparing yourself in layers to get to a point where you've built out your business credit, showing that you're not only credit worthy, that you do business with your trade partners in a very good way. Then you have the opportunity to now you're ready to go to the bank. It's called being fundable. A lot of small businesses don't understand that they can't just go and get credit. They have to qualify. They have to be fundable. And what does being fundable means? Being fundable means that there is a criteria that automatically the banks are looking. And unfortunately, in 2026, the banks are really making a drastic change because so many people in the social media sector has given so many hacks how to go get the money. But here's the problem with that. While they're right, many of their clients weren't ready for the money. Many has defaulted, and the banks are paying attention to that. The banks are looking and says, wait a minute, these individuals are teaching them how to go get chef corporations, how to go get a few trade lines to give me an 80 paydex score. We were giving them the money just like that. And what do we have? We have a high number of default. Yes, those are great credit hacks, but they were selling that information to people who are not capable of handling the usage of the cards or the credit line. Therefore, in 2026, banks have changed their strategy. What they're doing now, if you do not have a strong corporate history, with AI now, the banks are able to go in and see how long you were tied to a chef corporation. That information is public knowledge. And now they're making decisions through AI. No longer so much through an individual sitting in the bank. And even the individual sitting in the bank has to feed your application online. It goes to a back office. The back office individual may or may not be human. There's a scoring system. And in the scoring system, it's the difference in the amount of money or utilization that you currently had at one time versus what they will extend to you. So while there's good information on YouTube and all these different channels, be careful how you begin to start your building a business credit. So important. Now, after business credit, we also have to pay attention to a personal credit because that also affects your capability of business lending. You will hear stories of businesses that EIN only. Be real leery of that. That hack has been going around a long time. Very seldom will a bank turn around and just lend money on an entity knowing very well that there's not a guarantor to attach to. That's very seldom done, but it's popular on the internet. It really is. And so many people fall for that. They pay for that information. They get in these classes, and yet they come to find out that they still have to show their personal side of their credit. And if you're not strong enough credit-wise, will affect your ability to borrow. So I want to keep that in mind as well. How's that personal credit looking? So what does all of that mean? That means that you're preparing to scale your business up. And in 2026, it's so important that you utilize the AI and social media in a way to scale your business up. You might say, well, how do you do that? First of all, you're able to now, like ever before, create your own marketing strategies, your own marketing plans, your data information. You have an opportunity now to go to ChatGPT. You have the opportunity to go to Claude and literally ask for data that we used to have to pay thousands of dollars for. Case in point, let's say that you're a plumber and you want to know how many people in a certain zip code utilize plumbing or have plumbing issues based on how old the house is or how new the house is. Now you're able to target certain demographics in your advertising, knowing that, hey, over in this zip code, these homes were built in the 70s. Well, what's the likelihood of them having more plumbing problems than a house that was built in the 20s? So let's say a subdivision that was built in 2022. Well, chances are somebody stopped up a toilet. But in a zip code where homes are built in the 20s and the 30s and the 50s, there's something wrong with their pipes. They were lead pipes. And so these zip codes tend to have a higher stoppage in sewer lines and plumbing issues and toilets than any other zip code. Well, guess what? You literally can get that information from AI. And then what else does AI do? It will literally tell you how to create a marketing campaign for that zip code. What do you do then? You're able to put together a marketing ad. You're able to go to social media and actually target ages, let's say 30 to 50 individuals in that zip code. And the most beautiful thing about chat and looking up data, it will even tell you what time to reach those individuals based on their work history, their viewing hours, and everything. So unlike ever before, as a small business owner, you have so much at your hand to scale your business up. And that's what this podcast is going to really cover in so many different areas and how we can do that. So are you ready to go? Let's go. That's episode 1. See you then.